Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Regg, with another video for y'all, man. Welcome, YouTube. For the first time in this series, we have the same franchise on back-to-back entries. My 7th NBA team, greatest of all time, the 1996 Chicago Bulls. Now, the reason behind my 6th selection of the 1991 Chicago Bulls in my top 10 NBA teams of all time outside the 92 or the 93 squads is simple. The Bulls, during that first championship, were simply the most hungry out of the first three-peat. In 91, they were just as good on offense and defense as they were in the third chip. Now, in the second, the Bulls did win 6 more games in the regular season as they had that championship confidence from the previous year. But a similarity that stands out with both those following seasons is the fact they were challenged more in the playoffs. It was tougher for them. In the 92 postseason, they went 15-7, and in 93, they went 15-4. Now, if you want to come from the perspective of the Bulls overcoming, okay, sure. But I'm approaching it from them not being able to be beat. The 96 season can definitely identify with that from 5 years before. Going at least a year without their finals MVP. Chicago made some big changes after their first three-peat. Once a rival of the Bulls with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the mid to late 80s, Ron Harper figured he had to get the winning team. He had to get with the winning team if he wanted to take home some titles. To preface, this was not an assembly of all-stars, as he never made an all-star team. Shockingly, this is crazy, I know. Ron Harper never made an all-star team. Signing with Chicago in the 94 offseason, Harper became an atypical role player, from averaging 20.1 points, 6.1 rebounds, 4.1 assists, putting up nearly 1.9 steals for the LA Clippers the year earlier. Ron became a defensive guard who could do it all when needed. He'd average 7.4 points off 46.7%, 2.7 rebounds, 2.6 assists, with 1.3 steals. In 96, this was the start of him winning, eventually, 5 championships in 6 years. 3 with the Bulls in 96 through 98, and 2 with the Lakers in 2000 and 2001. Debuting the season after Jordan's retirement, the now 4-year pro Tony Kukoc was planned to have a major impact. To digress, we've seen documentaries showing Jerry Krause recruiting him dating back as early as 92 when Jordan and Pippen locked him up as a rebellion to Jerry Krause, as they knew he was trying to sign him. They locked his ass up with the Dream Team, locked him up. Then eventually he comes to the Bulls, and he did make that big impact. In his first 2 seasons, the waiter averaged combined in his first two seasons, 94 and 95, he averaged 13.3 points, 4.7 boards, 4 dimes, with 1.2 steals. By 96, it was go time for him. Maxing out in the second round, that wasn't going to be good enough. He took home the 6th Man of the Year award at the end of the regular season, playing 81 games for the 2nd straight time, notching 13.1 points per game, shooting 40% from 3 and 96 as a power forward, stretch 4. Stretch 4, I digress. Shooters back then, they wasn't shooting at the rate, but they shooting at that efficient clip for the elite ones. I digress. 4 rebounds and 3.5 assists. Now, I had a conversation a while back with my guys, All Ball, Fabian, Dime Dropper, Aureli Fleet, the 4 Sportsmen. And it was centered around this roster being a super team. Here's why I disagree. Saying the team was a super team would convey that all 3 stars were highly sought after. That's cap. That's cap. That's cap. Number 1. The Worm Dennis Rodman was not an all-star for any season on the Bulls. He was only an all-star on the Pistons in 1990 and 1992. Yes, Rodzilla did make first team all defense and led the league in rebounds for the 5th straight time with 14.9. Again, though, there was no team Iron Rodman but the Bulls after his exodus from the Spurs. Remember, they had Phil Jackson, who's infamous for being adept in controlling personalities. So him going to the Bulls, it was serendipitous. Speaking of personalities, Scottie Pippen had 2 years to test his chances to be leader. By the very second the quote, "I'm back," came out, he was fully willing to take the back seat. Robin, that's one of his nicknames, Robin, played 77 games throughout, averaging 19.4 points, shooting a career high 37% from 3, 6.4 rebounds, and again, leading the team in dimes with 5.9. Without question, Pip was an all-star this season as he made his 5th straight appearance, 7 in total. He also made NBA and all defensive first teams. He put up 1.7 steals and 0.7 blocks. Of course, numerically that's not impressive, but of course you will have to watch the game to see his defensive impact. Alongside the man who sought to unleash his wrath on the NBA after returning, after spending 13 months in Major League Baseball, playing for, I think it was the Chicago White Sox or their developmental team or something like that, and going through his Alice in Wonderland ritual in that year's November release of the first installment of the Space Jam film, Michael Jordan's 96 season was extremely filmic. This was the beginning of fadeaway Jordan. While he retained a bit of his explosion from his first run, his shot chart resembled a windshield wiper as he's shooting everywhere. And preferably fadeaway shots. His first full season back in the league, 82 games. MJ won his 8th straight scoring title as he averaged 30.1 points, shooting a career high from the arc with 42.7%, grabbed 6.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. This is the Black Cats' 4th GOAT season. Again, won his 8th straight scoring title. Not 8th straight, I'm sorry. 8th scoring title. His 2nd All-Star Game MVP. And both his 4th regular season MVP and finals MVP, crazily enough, on Father's Day. For the team with 3 first-team All-Defenders, the Bulls were ranked first in defense as well as offense. Of course, they won 72 games in the regular season, a record that stood for 20 years as the most wins in a single season. They indeed, while this postseason run isn't the franchise's most dominant, they indeed have their way with their opponents, going 15-3 in the playoffs. Chicago beat Miami in 3 games in the first round. In the second round, they gentlemen sweep the 47-win New York Knicks after losing to the Eastern Conference champions the year before. This new version of the Bulls swept the 60-win Orlando Magic. Revenge season, officially ending their contendership in the 90s in the Eastern Conference and sending Shaq to LA to advance to the NBA Finals. Lastly, after spending most of the decade trying to get out the Western Conference, the Seattle Supersonics won 64 games on their way to this championship round. They put up a good fight, but lost the championship to the Bulls in 6 games. So, in conclusion, my greatest teams from the 90s are the 91 and 96 Chicago Bulls. Of course, though, you got options. You got 92, you got 93, you got 95. You got 97, you got 98. 98, one of the oldest teams. 93, Michael Jordan arguably had his greatest finals. You got choices. Let me know Do you agree? Do you disagree? But first, hit that like button. Comment at the beginning, middle, and ending of the video. Share for others to see. If you are a new subscriber, if you're a new viewer, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every time I watch. And finally, if there's a particular topic, or if you just want to donate to the progression of the channel, hit that link in the pinned comment section below and donate to the Regg Man. I'm out.